Hello YouTube, how's everyone? It's Professional here. So today I wanted to make a Modern Warfare lore video, and I wanted to make this video for some time, but I figured, that I would make this video after a decent amount of people have, completed the campaign, to avoid spoilers, because, I personally can't stand spoilers. But anyways, if you haven't completed the game, do not watch this video, because this video does have major spoilers, and if you want to see my ending explanation, I will actually have that linked down at the end of the video. But anyways, we're going to be focusing on the character of Hadir in Modern Warfare, and basically if you read the title of the video, we're going to be talking about why Hadir is a giant fool, and we're going to be talking about why Captain Price is right in what he did, and with involving Hadir. We're going to be talking also about how dumb Hadir actually is, and how many problems he caused that even his own sister went against him. We're going to be talking about how this guy almost caused his country to be destroyed, how he almost caused World War III, and how he almost got his sister in prison. So the first time that we see Hadir in the campaign isn't even when Alex meets Farah. It's actually at the end of the first mission, and it's when Hadir's soldiers actually ambush Alex when he's trying to take General Barkov's gas and get it out of the area, and we know that Hadir is actually the guy in the gas mask right here. Now this might be a little difficult to tell, and when you're replaying the game, you can actually notice these small details. That's what I liked about the campaign in this game, but this is Hadir. You can tell by his hairstyle. When he realized that Alex was not part of General Barkov's army, decided to leave the area, and he took the gas. Now, he uses the gas in the Highway of Death mission, where Alex and, Farah's army are trying to get the Wolf, the leader of Al-Qatala, before he escapes the city. They take out a bunch of Al-Qatala fighters, and then General Barkov's soldiers arrive. And after killing a bunch of General Barkov's soldiers, they get surrounded, and then, Hadir tells Alex that he has a weapon for him to use. Let's take a look at that clip right here, where that happened.
Firepower! We need to move.
We need help! Where is Captain Price?
We cannot wait! I've got more firepower in my car! Alex, follow me!
Help Hadir.
Over fire!
Okay.
Prikroy! Get to my truck, Alex! My truck is full of explosives! It's time to use them! Open the tailgate quickly! Uncover us!
Russian gas?
Yes! And now we send it back to the Russians!
The gas?
The gas masks are in the bunker! Come quickly!
Hadir!
Why didn't he tell me to get the gas mask before?
What? The gas! If they can move us, so can we! Go, sister, inside! It happened to me! How could you do this?
We had no choice, Farah. All bets are off now.
No, not like this.
Sister. Alex. Listen to me. I stole the gas from the Russians. To help us. Only to help us. Tell Farah. Tell her, Alex.
Oh man. So that was when we saw Hadir use the gas on Barkov's forces, and a lot of us were shocked by that when it happened. So Hadir stole the gas in the beginning of the game, and he tries to justify this to Alex by saying that he stole the gas to help them, to help Farah's faction. But what he doesn't understand is he has basically played right into General Barkov's hands, because the gas we also see in the flashback, we see it when General Barkov's forces invade Urzikstan in 1999. And gas like this, like chemical weapons like this, would be illegal by international law. So General Barkov would have made some kind of attempt to cover it up, to hide it. That explains why his gas factory was in Georgia, why he was trying so hard to hide that he was developing these chemical weapons. And in Hadir's eyes is General Barkov's forces were the ones that were using this gas, and he used it on them, so it just deserts. That's the way Hadir sees it in his eyes. But that's not the way the world would see it. And basically, when he used this gas, he gave General Barkov the ammunition that he needed to justify his occupation of Urzikstan. Now, General Barkov is a terrible person, but Hadir actually helped him, and he doesn't even realize that he helped him. And how he helped him is when Hadir uses the gas, and he uses it on General Barkov's forces, Barkov at this point could deny any involvement with the gas, saying, it's being used on my own forces, and then he could point to Farah's faction and say, you see? They are terrorists. So he's basically trying to blame Farah's faction as being terrorists, trying to paint them as terrorists when they're not terrorists. And that's exactly what Hadir did. He gave General Barkov the ammunition that he needed, propaganda that he could use. That is how dumb Hadir actually is. He strengthened General Barkov's position without even realizing it. And on top of that, he cost Farah's faction their only real allies outside of Urzikstan. You know, the US government and the British government at this point had pretty much cut any kind of connections to Farah's faction, and they had actually labeled them as terrorists. And the reason that they had done so was because Hadir was an American asset, as they actually said in the single-player campaign. And the moment that he actually sided with Al-Qatala, he used the gas on Barkov's forces, he basically is aligning himself with Al-Qatala, and the Russian government, if they found out that an American asset was in league with Al-Qatala, there could be serious consequences for that. There might be some kind of retaliation, and, you know, possibly even World War III starting. So that is the reason that they cut contact immediately with Farah's faction, and they unjustly labeled Farah's faction terrorists for some idiotic thing that her brother had done. So not only has Hadir actually strengthened General Barkov's position and given him propaganda, he has also got Farah's faction, his sister's faction, labeled as terrorists and lost them their only major allies. Now, there are other people that stood by them, you know, like with Captain Price and Alex specifically. But when we're talking about the actual governments that were helping them, they pretty much cut contact at this point. So they lost a huge number of their allies because of Hadir's actions. However, despite all of these things that happened, Hadir still can't even see that. Take a look at what he thinks of Al-Qatala right here. Look at how dumb this guy actually is.
Alex, why did you bring her here?
I came here by choice.
Leave, now! I can't protect you here.
Come with us, Hadir.
No! It's too late for that now.
Show your face and die.
Farah, please! These people are willing to help us!
You are a liar and a traitor.
You're wrong! You will see!
So you heard it right there. Hadir thinks that Al-Qatala will help Urzikstan and help him. These are the same people that have committed terrorist attacks all over the world. And you can see the London attack in the beginning of the game, just absolute brutality from Al-Qatala, and during the embassy siege, when even the butcher murders a child in front of Kyle. These are awful, terrible, terrible people, and Hadir somehow, in his eyes, thinks that they're going to help their cause. These people are not going to destroy the gas factory. He thinks that Al-Qatala is going to help him destroy Barkov's gas factory. They're not. Do you know what Al-Qatala is doing? They are using Hadir. Because, do you honestly think that Al-Qatala would destroy the gas factory? There's no way that they would destroy the gas factory. They would steal as much gas from it as possible and use it for gas attacks all over the world, in the West and in Russia. They would do those attacks all over the world, or they would even take over the gas factory and start producing even more gas. So Al-Qatala has no plans whatsoever to destroy the gas factory, and Hadir somehow thinking that, I don't know what he's thinking. They are using him. And on top of that, Hadir then travels to Russia with Al-Qatala, who is preparing for attacks in St. Petersburg, and when they go into Barkov's estate, Al-Qatala is just basically mass murdering Barkov's family and his servants and his staff, and these people have absolutely nothing to do with Barkov's brutality, neither do the civilians in St. Petersburg, but Hadir does not seem to care about that. He doesn't care how many civilians get hurt in the way, just as long as he gets back at Barkov. That's all Hadir actually pretty much sees, and he's completely oblivious to anything else. The only good thing that comes out of going into Barkov's estate is that he does actually find some information about Barkov's gas factory, but this would have been absolutely terrible if Kyle and Captain Price had not gotten involved. Because if they had not arrived here, then Al-Qatala would have stolen these plans, they would have gone to the gas factory and then taken over the gas factory and then started attacks all over Europe.
Where's Markov?
He's not here!
His family was here!
Are you protecting him?
No, we're taking you. Come.
Wait! I'm not your enemy.
I know where the gas is made. I have the location.
This is Markov's chemical factory.
Yes, I'm taking it down. We're still on the same side, Captain.
Not like this.
So it's good that Captain Price and Kyle found Hadir when they did, because this prevented Al-Qatala from having access to the gas factory. And even if Hadir truly believed that Al-Qatala would have destroyed the gas factory, they wouldn't have. And the moment Al-Qatala realized that they don't need him anymore, they would have killed him off and taken over the gas factory. So Hadir was very naive to fall for their plot. And the most important thing in this level is when Captain Price prevented World War III, because he pretty much did. What happened was, when Captain Price was asked to give over Hadir, the reason that he so easily gave Hadir over was because when the Russian government finds out that Hadir was an American asset, they might ask, why is an American asset working with a dangerous terrorist organization that is planning on launching attacks in Russia? There might be some kind of retaliation, and World War III might start. Now, we don't know what happens to Hadir at this point when he's handed over. In the ending, they say that Zakhaev is planning on releasing him, so I guess we'll have to see in the next Modern Warfare game if he has some kind of ill will towards Captain Price and Task Force 141. Now, at the end of the game, the gas factory is destroyed, and Farah's faction is able to successfully destroy it because they don't have any ties to the West. You know, they were labeled a terrorist group, but even though they were able to destroy, you know, the gas factory, and they were falsely labeled a terrorist group, and this really hurts their cause. And what happens is they lose their outside allies, any allies that they had outside of Urzikstan, their main allies, they lost them. And even though General Barkov was defeated, when his forces withdrew from Urzikstan, what ends up happening is this creates a power vacuum. Al-Qatala then goes in, takes over. And at the end of the game, when you see Khaled al-Assad walking with Al-Qatala, he's their new commander. He has pretty much taken over all of Urzikstan. So in the end, who has won? Al-Qatala has won, and they have completely taken over Urzikstan. So that's my video on why Captain Price was right and why Hadir was just a giant fool. I wanted to make this video because, you know, this guy had made so many dumb mistakes and he nearly caused World War III. He had helped General Barkov without even realizing it. He nearly got his country destroyed. He got his sister and her whole movement falsely labeled as terrorists. He had helped a dangerous terrorist organization thinking that they would help him when they were just using him to acquire chemical weapons, and partly because of his actions, Al-Qatala was able to take over all of Urzikstan. The list just goes on, and this video is not saying that Hadir is a terrible character. He was actually a great character developed for Modern Warfare. The story I enjoyed personally, but this is just a list of just dumb things and how this guy was one of the dumbest characters that I've seen in a video game. But let me know what you guys think down below, and if you agree with me or you don't agree with me, let me know down below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.